And welcome to Anime Sickos. It's the podcast for geniuses and the only podcast where we look at the four pillars of modern misery, anime, gaming, posting, and jobs. I am Tom, an anime sicko.
I am Joe, an anime sicko.
Now, Joe, you and I, we're known for being deck builder sickos.
I'm always talking about how I'm thinking about cards.
Yeah, we've done an episode about deck builders, a very unpopular, one of our least listened to, because we just get really deep into the minutia of two sort of not very popular games, and get mad that they aren't Slay the Spire.
A lot of appeal there.
Yeah, but, you know, we're known, therefore, among our audience as deck builder guys. So they when they're deck builder news, they make sure to tell us about it. And well, there's been something happening in the gaming world. Let's just say we can't ignore it for much longer. We're gonna have to talk about this. You could say that people have been inscribing DMs to us asking what we think about it. And you know, we can't prevaricate anymore. We can't delay. It's finally time to talk about it. We're gonna address it, folks. Yeah, it's the Anbernic. It's the Anbernic RG351V.
Everyone was talking about this Chinese gadget we found out about 3 weeks ago. Use it for crime. It's for crime.
Yeah, everyone, of course, means exclusively and only Ian Preschel, our internet homie. I remember from my journalism classes in college that if you have one example of something that's actually a trend piece, I'm pretty sure the number was 1.
This is a trend piece.
Yeah, this is a lot of everyone was talking about the Anbernic. One person. So yeah, the Anbernic. Wow. I'm not going to beat around the bush here. It's a bootleg Chinese Game Boy.
It's so good, though. Like, it feels so good, Tom. When you say bootleg Chinese Game Boy, we have in our collective memory, like, a sort of an association with bootleg Chinese goods, which is like a weird action figure of Sailor Moon, but she's on an ATV. Like, doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's Spider-Man, but he has, like, the Hulk's head, and it's called, like... Insect Fellow.
Yes. I need everyone to understand that that is the old world, and it's dead now.
Yeah, China is... Man, you want to know about soft power. They are light years ahead of us. We are a fucking backwater. The Anbernic is like... we know U.S. manufacturing is dead, but like, I can't even fathom how much would have to be different about the world for America to produce an item of such quality
for so little money. Well, obviously, it's flouting intellectual copyright laws big time, which is sort of a wonderful thing. So this is it is a Chinese Game Boy. It is designed to look like a Game Boy, but it also has a second analog stick on the left side because this can play ROMs pretty much all the way through PlayStation 1?
Yeah. It also has 2 sets of shoulder buttons, your R and L1 and R and L2. You can play everything chronologically from the beginning of gaming up to the PlayStation, N64, and Dreamcast era, and PSP also, technically. Also DS, but it only has one screen, so what's the fucking point? Like,
yeah,
you have
there's
to map
a
button
function to switch screen, which I think would only work for the 3 Castlevania games on the DS.
Yeah, and there's no way to emulate the fucking touchscreen. So if the touchscreen is required, you're out of fucking luck. Yeah, thousands of games fall under the purview of what this thing can run, and like, holy shit! Like, that sounds good to say it and to hear it, but like, once you're actually holding it in your hands and you see the breadth of the wealth that you just have there in front of you, easily, effortlessly, like, the Anbernic is the ultimate gaming device. Like, all other gaming is foolish in its face.
Like, everyone's always had access to emulation. Like, there's no reason you can't play those NES games you've been thinking about. The thing is, with this fucking thing, now you want to, because the act of playing them is, like, actually delightful. I cannot stress how good the D-pad is. I'm such a D-pad purist. My big issue is that obviously with a lot of modern controllers, like the D-pad is the thing you use to switch to Fortnite dances.
Yeah.
Like it's not a thing you use for actual directional movement, so it doesn't feel great. This sucker is perfect. It's so good.
Yeah. It also, we haven't mentioned it, but man, it's one of the main things for me is that this motherfucker, the plastic shell is wood grain. It's wood grain patterned.
Yeah. It comes in 3 colors. Ian didn't have the wood one. Ian, you fucked up. Like, the wood one is so cool. You had, I think it was just like black. It was boring.
Yeah. There are 3, it comes in 3 colors, wood grain, shit, and shit. Ian, you are a prophet and we love you, but like, you fucked up big time. It's like if we met Jesus and he only wore Tivas over socks. It's like, I'm glad I met the Lord, the one true God, man, but also, shape up.
Yeah.
Your shoes look like shit, dude.
It can still be a letdown.
Oh, holy shit. You'd have to be out of your mind not to get one of these suckers. And you mentioned it. So, yeah, okay. It does a lot of crime. It has a fucking ton of emulators built in, but...
Let's address the legal dubiousness of this device. Okay, so we can just say this at the top. I think we assume everyone knows this, but emulation, if you're not familiar, is the act of playing ROMs to play like old systems on a device.
Yeah. ROMs tend to be online and downloadable for free. Right.
The thing is, emulation actually has like an archival purpose. There are reasons for having it that aren't just, I want to play all the old Nintendo games. And the funny thing is, like, that's always sort of a fig leaf everyone like play. Like, a lot of people are like, yeah, this isn't for downloading like Mario though, right? You know, like people will say that and like they have their fig leaf. What I love about this fucking device is it comes with stolen shit.
Yes. Okay, you can buy it with nothing but the SD card that has the OS on it that basically runs it, and it has all the emulators built in, but no games. And you can also buy it for a little bit more money, which even that's not very much. Even that's like $120. For a little bit more money, it will come with a second SD card. We don't know what's on this, wink, wink. This SD card could contain anything, wink, wink. You put that sucker in. Well, you know what it's got is 2,500 games with extremely poorly labeled
weird gaps. Truly bizarre gaps.
The NES section has a bunch of stuff that begins with A and B, and then it stops. The Game Boy Advance section randomly has numbers in front of all the games, so it's in numerical order, except the games were not numbered in any order. It's sort of random order. What game gets what number? You'd think that number 1 would begin with, I don't know, an A.
Yeah, Super Mario Advance was 4 for me. The other thing is, I didn't realize that there was 2 tiers. I didn't know there was like a cheaper blank one you can do your own ROM stuff. Like, I'm technically literate. Like, I paid more for Crime because I didn't know there was an option.
I say 2,500 games. Let's be real here. 1,700 of them are different versions of King of Fighters and Street Fighter, and then like all of those versions on the SNES, all of those versions on the PC Engine, all of those versions on the Sega Genesis. And then another 300 of that is Sailor Moon and Yu Yu Hakusho games that haven't been translated. But still, it comes with a lot of fucking games.
Yeah, there's also stuff on there that is absolutely deranged.
You sent me the following question on Discord, which is, did you know Mario 16 is actually based off of Joe and Mac? And my response is, I didn't know Mario 16 existed a second ago.
Mario 16 is a ROM hack. Obviously, this isn't legit. It's for sure on this Game Boy, though. And the thing that I love about it is, I thought it was going to be a hack of a Mario game. No, it's a hack of this caveman shooter platformer, Joe and Mac, that I had. Just a bizarre choice. But yeah, that's on there. There's a bunch of weird shit. There's one game I had that you didn't have, which is fun. I want to be clear too that like the games you get are for sure like whoever's dragging files into the computer that day. So this thing has Game & Watch, and
Yeah, mine didn't have any Game & Watch. It came with no Game & Watch games.
Yeah, the Game & Watch games are great. There's 4 buttons mapped to like the 4 buttons that would be on there. I was playing Egg.
What happens in Egg?
It's mostly Egg based. The name is no bullshit.
There was one. So just don't fuck around. I know what one you're leading up to. Just go there.
Oh yeah, there was a game called Frog Boaster. You didn't have Frog Boaster.
No. Frog Boaster is... So, okay, I'm just going to assume it's a game where you have a frog that just fucking shreds. And you go around to other frog owners and goon their asses with frog anecdotes.
You're a carnival barker for your frog. You're the frog's ultimate hype man. But yeah, like you're simplifying it though, because there's also obviously romance and marriage options.
Of course.
There's bullet hell sections. It's just like a very, very fully fleshed rural life simulator on top of everything else.
And I actually, when you were showing me some footage of it, and I actually discovered, and this isn't something a lot of people know, is that the opera scene in Final Fantasy VI is actually a reference to Frog Boaster, because in Frog Boaster there's the opera, and you have to put it together, and like Celeste has to play the lead role, and she doesn't know how to sing, so she's doing her best, but she needs to be up there, and then while that's happening,
they rip that shit off of Frog Boaster, shamelessly.
Because in Frog Boaster, what you do is all the high-class opera fans, well, they're absorbed by the show. They're not they're not prepared to zing you back after you hit them with the frog boast. They're off guard. So you frog boast at them. They can't do anything about it.
I did not play Frog Boaster. I don't know what any of this shit is. There's so many games on here that you see the box art and you're like, that's probably not real. I definitely saw like Wii U box art for a DS Mario game. Just some delightful choices. But the thing is, like, if you have any computer literacy, just fix it. You can make the jankiness go away. But you absolutely need to grab the heavy hitters off there, because Frog Boaster and Super Mario 16, I'm sure you can only get from the CIA directly. So make sure you save that ROM.
Yeah. And I mean, you talk. Okay, you mentioned a good point here, which is as much as we say that this thing is like the ultimate device and is so perfect and it has no flaw, it brings to mind a trend in sort of technology, which is they want to remove the concept of this technology like having guts and like working and like having a like files. They want to remove that from the user as much as possible. They want devices to be like from God. They work with magic, and they can only do what they do, and you have to deal with that. Like your phone comes from God. An iPhone especially comes from God.
No tinkering.
I cannot fucking tinker. The Anbernic does. Now, you may be familiar with your Philosophy 101 classes with the bent stick solution, which is, I think Aristotle said that if one has a dangerous, deleterious predilection towards a certain vice, the solution to that is not to simply behave normally, but to intentionally have the opposite vice. So, like, if you stay up too late, don't go to bed at a normal time. Go to bed too early, and then eventually it'll even out. That's what the Anbernic is doing with that trend towards making your technology from God, because it comes fucked up. It comes broken, and you have to fix it.
But like, it's good that it's fucked up, because it's a little hobby now.
Yeah. Because like the OS that it comes with, it has all the emulators. It turns on pretty well. It runs pretty well. All the stuff prior to PlayStation, it runs perfectly. So this OS, like, it's good. But there's two problems. One, it really doesn't have a lot of settings that you can fiddle with. Two, it's really unintuitive. Three, the PlayStation, N64, Dreamcast, PSP shit, it just doesn't. It can run those games, but does it very poorly. The second problem is the SD cards that this shit comes with are shitto mode. And I actually got gooned big time. I was playing Final Fantasy 1 And I like lost many hours of progress because like the save didn't take because I was using like a Kioxia brand SD card instead of a fucking SanDisk. And I'm like, oh no. So yeah, you got to take out your SD cards, copy their contents, and here's something.
Before they fail. Because they will fail.
They will fail very soon. And, like, this is the shit that blew my mind. I kept having to hear the word BIOS. Joe, when someone says the word BIOS to me, I start fucking puking.
It sucks. Anytime I've had to flash firmware, even as someone who, like, you know, knows computer, there's, like, a part of you that's like, this thing's about to brick. This is Russian roulette.
Yeah, you have to flash. And Joe, here's the thing. When you flash firmware on this motherfucker... I can't believe that there's enough fucking people on Earth to create this. There are two competing custom OSs specifically for this model of Anbernic device.
I could not get Tom to give a shit about this level of computer detail any other day of the week. But the reason he's doing it now is because, like, if he studies hard enough, he gets all the Nintendos.
I get all the Nintendos. And to zing you back, Joe... I can barely get you to, like, write 3 jokes in a big list of jokes for a project in a month. But somehow there is enough people on the planet that they create from scratch 351 ELEC, a custom OS for the RG351 that is fucking perfect. And also... Arc OS.
Yeah, if you're on the stock OS, you're a goon. You are.
Yeah, you got goon for sure. And also, like, finding... okay... The ROMs on the fucking card that comes with it are janky and poorly labeled. And there's a lot of fucking duplicates. Like, you'll have 3 versions of one game, and, like, which one's the one in English? We'll never tell. Also, all of the fucking Genesis games are actually Master System games, which I'm like, how come all these games have graphics that are for shit? It's because of that. They fucking labeled them wrong. This is... But, shit. But the thing is... You want to get better ROMs. You want to get a good ROM set from somewhere else that has labeled correctly. That's the hardest shit in the universe. Like, it's so fun. Like, no one has... You Google that shit, you're going to find a Reddit thread from 2017 that's going to be like, check out these torrents. They have the 100 most popular games from all these classic systems. Every single one of those torrents is dead. They don't have a single seater. Every time you go to a forum and ask about ROMs, they're like, we're not allowed to talk about ROMs here. Just Google them. You'll find them. It's easy. No, it's not. I downloaded a ROM pack of Game Boy games that was supposed to be like the clean version, and I wanted to boot up Metroid 2. So I went to the ROM that was labeled Metroid 2. I opened it up. It was Milon's Secret Castle. That's definitely fully Milon. There's no Samus in there.
This is... I don't know. I think this is like what... really drew me to computers originally, which is like I wanted to do a thing, so I had to start clicking around and really not have a clue how to like start exactly, but it was just raw information. You just gotta take it all in and sort of like make sense of a bunch of weird forum posts, potentially conflicting information, a bunch of lock threads that have not been updated.
Yeah, you're looking for a piece of information that literally only exists in the form of someone one time 10 years ago asked a question on a forum that is kind of similar to what you're experiencing. And then, like, it was responded to by a very annoyed 50-year-old guy who loves soldering guns, who tersely answers the question in a very insulting way. And that's, like, the most vital information in the world, and it's never been repeated since.
It's true. So that's our take on the ROMs. If you have questions about the actual devices, we have good news because an angel walks among us.
Yeah, no, you know how we always say the devil is real? Well, that sort of begs the question, well, is God real? No, God was fake and made up. There's never been God. The devil is the only one.
The devil has been here and waiting.
Yeah, however, we have good news, which is that God may be fake, and even if he were real, he's dead. Angels are real and walk among us as well, with their swords of light shining in the devil's darkness, and if you go in the light, your HP goes up.
Yeah, and they do this mostly by making YouTube videos about how to take your Chinese Gameboys and like use them effectively. And I'm not exaggerating here. Perhaps the clearest and most effective communication I've seen in a long time. It's like, okay, you know what it is? It's Bob Ross is like helping you steal cable.
Yes. Oh, fuck. Okay. So, Joe, you're talking about a guy named Russ who runs a website called Retro Games Core. And yeah,
This is saint.
He's a fucking saint among us because he has a series of so many videos that basically explain how you can do anything you would ever want to do with an RG351V and how to solve any problem that you may have. And so many, like, it's a cliche at this point that if you find a YouTube video that explains how to do something tech-wise, it's going to have a big, long preamble at the beginning where he doesn't get to what he's fucking done. It's going to explain, and it's going to be, like, unscripted. The guy's going to go, a lot, and it's going to be poorly edited, way too long. He's not going to explain the points. He's just going to be rambling. When he gets to the point, he's going to be too rambly for you to, like, get the nut, like, the meat of, like, what it really is. You can't get the nut, dude. This guy makes you get the nut. His videos are fucking scripted. They are straight to the point. He says exactly what you want to hear, and he shows you on screen exactly what he's talking about. Then it's synced the fuck up. He has those little chapter headings on the timeline that when you mouse over them, it shows like what he's going to talk about during this section. And like, they're scripted, dude. He is reading from a script. He wrote a script for every single one of these, and he's reading it professionally, clearly. There's no background noise. It's like the fucking Chinese government is
for
giving
sure
him
paying
money.
This guy. There's no, like this is how you can wage IP war. You have a genius like Ross here. And you have him educate an entire population how to steal delightful games from competing nations. And yeah, like
I gotta address like one of the most incredible. Like this is the biggest brain YouTube fucking move. Like I don't know how this isn't everything. His thumbnails for all of his fucking videos have big bulleted lists of text, easily readable even in thumbnail size, explaining what gets discussed in the video.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, holy shit.
And all his thumbnails aren't him with his mouth open. Like his mouth, he's not even on there.
He doesn't appear. I have no idea what Russ looks like, Joe.
I don't know what the inside of his fucking mouth looks like either, which is great.
And he doesn't even have just videos that are like how to set up your fucking RG351V, how to clone the firmware on a new SD card that won't fail, how to get custom firmware. He also has like videos about like, so you downloaded the custom firmware. Do you know all the cool options that are now at your disposal? Oh, you don't? Well, let me show you exactly what you can do. And It's like, oh, your PSP game isn't running correctly? Have you tried using the frame buffer? And I'm like, I've never heard of the frame buffer, dude. I never would have heard of the frame buffer. He's like, well, here's how you can make it so that Ridge Racer runs perfectly. And I'm like, what? Ah!
Like with every helpful tip, you can like hear the ka-ching.
And Joe, he would be a saint among all humans if that was all he did, but he has a similarly sized repertoire of videos and articles about literally every model of bootleg Game Boy on the market.
Yeah, like really in depth. He tells you a personal story about like how he was like, this was my everyday carry for a little bit. He's just wonderful. He's absolutely wonderful. But this also really shows like how much we were getting scammed by Nintendo throwback offerings.
Holy shit! Like the fucking Switch thing where it's like, "Hello, Nintendo here. Do you love N64? Well, pay us $50 and you give a bunch of fucking ROMs that suck ass and are emulated poorly." Oh wait, did I say a bunch? Oh, fuck me. I meant 3.
Yeah, weird choices. You got a Donkey Kong Jr. Maths.
And like remember when the NES and SNES classics were things like these fucking tiny plastic SNESs and NESs that they would sell with the ROMs on them, where like they only manufactured 10 and everyone had a horrible time.
Oh, they got away with murder.
Looking at the Anbernic now, I boot up my Anbernic and I go to the SNES category and I see 700 games underneath the SNES logo, and then I look at the fucking SNES Classic, and it's like, comes with 20 games. It's like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. Also, it's not just like, oh, this has all the games. It's like, here's something we haven't mentioned yet about the screen. The screen is like a really nice 4:3 display that obviously is exactly how like Super Nintendo and earlier games are made. And the CRT filter, like the thing that gives it like that old pixel shade, is fucking perfect. It's incredible. And like,
I didn't even know they had that. Yeah. I haven't even enabled that. Yeah. Holy that's the thing about this fucking thing, is that it's so complex and has so many especially when you update the firmware, so complex and has so many goddamn options that you're never going to stop finding out ways to improve your games. And also you can fucking mod the ROMs. Like I had Dragon Quest 5 and 6 didn't get released in America on the SNES, so I fucking downloaded the Japanese ROMs and applied translation patches, and now I have them. Can't do that for the fucking SNES Classic.
No.
Jesus Christ.
No.
It's like as much of a crime as this is, like
a big one.
It does so much more work for the preservation of a frankly incredible art form, gaming, than fucking Nintendo, Sony, or Microsoft would ever do. Ever. Like, they're going to re-release Mario Brothers 1, 2, and 3 forever. But, Joe, you could, if Nintendo had their way, you would go your whole life without playing Frog Boaster.
Yeah, they would keep me from the truth. And this is the other thing. I think when we talk about this as a product, you think of like an endpoint. The thing is, like, there is a Manhattan Project happening every year where like these ROM devices are rapidly innovating and improving.
There is I saw on RetroGamesCore.com, there's talk of an upcoming fucking Chinese Game Boy that can play PS2 and GameCube games.
Right.
It's not out yet, but like their work, like that level of innovation simply does not fucking occur in America.
Yeah, I don't care about a nicer phone. I care that you can get buttery smooth PS2 frame rates on your Game Boy.
I actually would hate a nicer phone. This phone sucks. I don't have any games on it, much to all children's chagrin.
You have to tell everyone, though, what, like, your phone is old. Like,
my phone is an iPhone 6. Apple is absurdly rage-filled that it still functions. Had they their way, an Apple agent would be in my house right now, smashing it with a hammer.
What are they on now? 9, 10?
I think 13.
Oh.
Yeah, the iPhone 6 that I have fucking works perfectly, and I hope that it will continue working for years. Because the phone sucks, and it also brings up another incredible, just like, one of the most amazing features of this device. The most amazing features any device would ever have, which is that there's no messaging service on the Anbernic.
I cannot get a notification on this Game Boy. I can't.
Yeah, it has internet functionality, and the reason it does is so that you can go to screenscraper.fr and scrape box art for all of your ROMs. So when you select them, a little box art will pop up, so you know which one it is.
Is FR for France or for real? Okay. Yeah, it is French.
You know, how Tom, did you know that the Screen Scraper site was French? Well, it's because Russ from Retro Games Core told me about it in a video where he explained it very succinctly. And he told me that you do have to have an account, because sometimes if you scrape too much and you don't have an account, they'll block you. That's something that I would never fucking know, you know? If I ever, by some miracle, found out how to scrape to find box art, and then it, like, broke halfway through, I'd just be like, I guess that's what happens when you have a bootleg Chinese Game Boy. But a fucking angel came down from heaven and told me. And I want to say this about Russ, and really all forums about this fucking thing. And you talked about the fig leaf of, like, actually ROMs aren't just for stealing, they're for art preservation. And, like, no one buys that. But even sillier is, like, Retro Games Core, who only talks about fucking bootleg Chinese Game Boys, and all these communities about, like, how to get your bootleg Chinese Game Boy running a bunch of games really well, how to get a custom OS to make the emulation better. They all have to say at the top of all their forums and sites, We don't support piracy. Do not download ROMs illegally. Don't do it. Don't ask us where to find ROMs because we don't support that.
This reminds me of in college when someone in the dorm went into a head shop and was kicked out because they said the word weed like they fucked up and they ruined the illusion. So they were supposed to be like, yes, I need this 4-foot long glass tobacco pipe.
Yes, I want my whole throat to be absolutely fucked. Yeah, what he's telling me how to make PSP games run on the Anbernic by using frame buffers. And then he's telling me, like, by the way, you better not fucking put a PSP ROM on your device.
Every day I make and give out burglar masks, but you better not steal anything while wearing these.
Here I will do a video about how to make your $ bag hold a lot of money, even if there's comically dollar bills bulging out of the top because there's too much money in it.
Here's how to get that perfect circle with the glass cutter.
Oh, shit. It's so fucking good. And as much as we talked about like the silly, like the ideological implications of this and how it is the most incredible way to do a lot of extremely fun gaming and also relive history. And also you can't get a Discord message. Like, no one, I don't think we really focused enough on that. No one can fucking talk to you on this thing.
Yeah, I love PC gaming, but like my PC is just like a bunch of ways for people to talk to me. No one can reach out and talk to me through the Game Boy. Except for the devil who talks to me through screens and some syncs, but like it's fine.
Yeah. Something syncs. So as much as we've talked about those sort of things, I think we got to get to the real like lizard brain, like ape with a fucking hitting a barrel with a bone type thing. This is a fun piece of machinery to hold. It just feels good. It's the right weight. It's made of wood. It's made of plastic, but it looks like it's made of wood.
Yeah, I'm tricked every time.
Yeah, and like the buttons have a beautiful click. There's hotkeys, and I don't know what it is about hotkey. I think it is. There's the sort of big brain understanding that like, well, everything I do on this is subversive and criminal, but there's something even more wild when I'm playing an NES game and I press 2 buttons at the same time to activate a hotkey. And it opens up RetroArch and overlays the NES screen with a high-res menu of options. And it's just like, that's not supposed to happen.
It looks like a PS3 menu.
Yeah. It's like so high-res compared to the fucking pixels.
You could, if you were a soul-sick person, stream from the device. Like, RetroArch has a streaming function. Obviously, that is how you would taint the device.
Yeah, that's the devil yelling at you. But like, well, here's a good example of something that like it both made me feel like I was the coolest guy in the world and also just made me hoot like an ape because I got more sugar water per gulp. There is a hotkey that activates fast forward mode, which just makes the game run faster. Now you might be wondering, what is the purpose of this? Do I not want the game to run at its intended speed? If I was playing Mario and it was running twice as fast, that would be very crappy.
Hell yeah, JRPGs just got way better. You just started grinding with scientific precision.
Yeah. Like, oh man, my guy walks so slow. Every time I select my actions, the animations take so long. Now they don't. Incredible shit. Especially since I have 7 Final Fantasies, 6 Dragon Quests, and 4 Phantasy Stars I have to work through. Having it on fast forward mode is going to make that goal a lot more achievable.
Nintendo doesn't want you to go fast, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, that was the whole thing about Sonic.
Yeah.
Sega doesn't want you to go fast either, to be clear. But still.
Yeah. Also, I don't really have a good time when Sonic's going fast. Like, I don't know.
Like, when he's going fast, that's when I miss the jump and I get on the low route where I have to go into purple water. I don't want to go in the purple water, folks.
Mario walks at a respectable speed I don't know. I think he's a much more grounded character.
Yeah. And also he has 16 games, the final one of which he becomes a caveman.
There's also Mario's Missing is on here, which is that edutainment game.
Yeah, it's where you learn how to type. You learn how to get your WPM up.
No, it's you learn facts about ancient Rome.
Hell yes.
Yeah, it's just like Mario's Missing. The only way to get him back is to take an AP test. That's like the game.
Fuck. Oh, here's another fun thing I learned about the Anbernic cruising r/RG351V on the Reddit. Unfortunate that you have to go to Reddit to know about this thing, but it is what it is. Apparently, so I ordered this from Anbernic's site because I wanted to go straight to the source. But they do sell them on Amazon, which I think is fucking insane that they have this bootleg piece of shit on Amazon. And when I say piece of shit, I mean that in the most affectionate way. And
that's where I got mine. Like,
this is one of the few times when ordering on Amazon is like the thing to do, because apparently if your Anbernic has a hardware issue and is broken, well, the downside of buying a bootleg Chinese Gameboy is that when you tell the Chinese crime company that
oh my god, I have the entire support of Bezos's wealth behind this fucking knockoff thing.
Yeah. If I wanted to get a refund, they would be like, "We'd have no record of selling you a Game Boy." And
also, like, you better not be using that for ROMs.
Did you put that SD card that we put in the box into the machine? Oh, that voids the warranty. Bye, bitch. However, with Amazon, you'd be like, "It's broken. Refund me." No questions asked. They give it to you. So do that if you're gonna buy an Anbernic.
Yeah, the fun layer of suffering here, though, is if you buy this from like a Amazon Marketplace, because also it's very unclear, like when you're buying from Amazon or a Marketplace, sometimes they can just come down and like yell at those places to give you a new one, which is like also awful. Like this is there's a big crush that's happening here.
Yeah, it's kind of bad. I don't love it.
Yeah, we can cut that out. That was relevant.
No. I do want to say, and this is something we've been glossing over because it's normal to us by now, but a listener listening to this is probably still having this sort of stick in their brain and sort of crackle around like it was for me. The name of this fucking brand is Anbernic.
Mm-hmm. It's not. I think it sounds like a discontinued electronics line, like the Zenith television, a thing from the 90s.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from with that, but here's the thing, Joe. Zenith is an actual English word, whereas Anbernic are sounds that do not occur in human speech.
I think it's perfect. I see it on like a wood-paneled television. I see it.
It looks like someone was trying to say Amber and fucked up and then just sort of like panicked and like Anbernic. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, and they just talked into their shoulder to muffle their mistake.
I mean, it's rendered in a very cool, like retro future Magnavox style font on the actual item, which when you see that underneath your game for hours and hours, that's when it stops sticking in your mind and you start being like Anbernic. This was the correct... Yeah, Anbernic. This is the correct way. All other tech names are fucked up. Asus? What's that? Dell? What are you talking about? It's Anbernic.
End on a weird, hard consonant. That's good.
It's the comedy K, dude. Holy shit.
Yeah. Well, okay, so there's this other aspect of it, too, is that everything we're describing about, playing these old games, like, we're not dumb. We know that, like, this was available to us before. But, like, now, like, we're chomping at the bit to get through Dragon Quest.
You know what it is? I'm recalling previous guesto Rain Clar describing candle-based spells to us and how the real key is to have an intention in your mind. And then you use physical objects. Mm-hmm. You interact with physical objects with that intent fixed in your mind. The reason you're
like
interacting
crime.
And these objects are not in themselves special, but the fact that you interact with them with this intention fixed in your mind brings you to a greater state of balance and understanding. That's what the Anbernic is. When I'm at my fucking PC, that's so I have no fucking clue. I'm probably going to watch shows, dude. I can hear at any moment coming out of the PC any number of notification boops. And when that happens, I have to, what's going on? And stop what I'm doing. When I'm fucking playing a PC game on my PC, I have so many other things that the PC can do that are vying for my attention. Quit the game, they say, do me instead. Watch a show instead. Ooh, go on Twitter instead. And, to think...
What you mean is do each of those for like 2 seconds and then like kind of give up.
Yeah, and then you forget that you were playing a game. Like, I was playing Skies of Arcadia, fucking GameCube ROM, and then I stopped and I'm never going to play it again. I forget what's happening in the story. Never going to pick that shit up because it's on my PC. My PC can do whatever. This Anbernic, well, I already know that this has all the Dragon Quests and all the Phantasy Stars and all the Final Fantasies and fucking Suikoden and Xenogears. I know it's got all of those. It's right like in my hand now as I speak. This is not a fucking hypothetical here. It's right here. I'm going to play them all.
So a game I've been playing a lot on mine, and I fully understand we have like all the games available, that this is such a strange choice. I've been playing Super Mario Bros. Advance 1, which is the advanced remake of Super Mario Bros. 2, but I've been playing the arcade Mario Bros. Remake that's on that cartridge. And I say all this because, like, there is nothing you could do to make me sit and play that on my PC. There's nothing. There's nothing you could do. But, like, dude, I can't put this thing down. I actually give a shit about the score. The Mario Brothers arcade game is wonderful because you can't jump on stuff. It kills you. Don't do it. Don't do that.
It's so fun. No, Joe, you've hit upon something very, very critical here, I think, which is that one of the things that the Anbernic allows you to do, and it opens this up as a real possibility that you will actually do, is play the games that aren't the big hitters. Yes. Because if I'm going to emulate a game on my PC, let me think about the games that I've actually have emulated and played on my PC. Final Fantasy VI, that's a huge hitter. Donkey Kong Country, that's a huge hitter. Fucking Super Mario RPG, that's a huge hitter. Like, those are the big name games that are, like, still known from the SNES, that are, like, getting re-releases still. I know about them. I knew to seek them out to emulate them because they're still popular and still well-known. I would never seek out a mid-tier game or, like, the arcade mode of a port. Why would I ever do that? That's insane. Mm-hmm. However, if I were to pick up an Anbernic and it's just there, there's zero cognitive load involved in just booting the game up. There is no obstacle. There's not even an inch-high fence I have to walk over. That inch-high fence is too fucking high because Twitter is actually there's no fence. It's a slope downward. Like I will never compete with Twitter. However, on the Anbernic, well, I you know what I fucking did? Joe, you want to know something? The first game I actually ever played on this thing, first game I booted up, it was the Austin Powers game from the Game Boy Color.
Was it pretty good?
No, it fucking sucks. But I played it, and I never thought that would be a true sentence.
You know what I played was the Tetris DX, the Game Boy Color remake of the Tetris Game Boy, and that's before they had the hold a piece mechanic, and that shit is unplayable.
Yeah, you're on poverty mode, dude.
When I like couldn't store the long skinny piece, I like literally turned the Game Boy over. I was like, it's broken. Like, what's happening?
I gotta call Bezos and have him declare nuclear war on China over this shit. Oh God, fuck! I love this thing.
Yeah, and here's the other thing that's really fun about it. If a steamroller crushes it, you can get a new one for like the cost of a Steam game.
Yeah. It's like, okay. Funny you should mention a steamroller. I think you set me up for this. I found today a tweet. Thank you for setting me up because I almost freaking forgot to bring this up. I saw today a post on Twitter from the Mario Brothers blog, at Mario Broth blog, which says Mario facts.
The really weird
post.
ones, like stuff that no one would know. Not like the Reddit stuff. You're like, did you know Mario is Italian?
Yeah. Did you know that he's called Jumpman because his MF Jump? Here it is. In 1994, Nintendo made a public event at a Dutch airport where 10,000 counterfeit Game Boy games they confiscated in the Netherlands were ran over by a steamroller to send a message to counterfeiters. An actor in a Mario costume was overseeing the operation. They would crush our Anbernics if they could.
They would absolutely. This photo is crazy because it looks like Mario is watching people dig their own graves.
It's because it's in black and white.
Yo, it's in 94. Like, color was a thing. This gives it, unfortunately, like World War II motifs, which is the funny aspect of it. I'm like excited about this stupid device because it reminds me of, I think, like the longest unbroken amount of gaming contentment I've had ever, which was when I had a DS and a SuperCard.
Yeah.
That was incredible because I was in college at the time and I like didn't have any money, obviously, and like I had a laptop so I couldn't play PC games, but it was a chance for me to obviously play all like the Nintendo shit that rules, right? But also, like you said, maybe not the Austin Powers. Maybe I wouldn't dip in the licensed muck that much. But there was tons of stuff I played that I would never have bought because it looks kind of like knockoffy. I played some really good Metroidvanias, like just stuff like that, and it's all because it was available. But also, it wasn't too many choices at the same time.
God, it's so good.
Sicko mode, sicko mode, sicko mode. Sicko mode, sicko mode, sicko mode. Sicko mode, sicko mode, sicko mode. Sicko mode, sicko mode, sicko mode.
Tom, I wanna do the Fate Wiki because you made me watch anime recently at your house, and they both were like, I guess, grounded. One was like everyone had to live in Guntown, which was fascism town.
That's the most realistic anime you can watch. An anime that tried to realistically depict the world as it was would not be as true as an anime that shows the world is a horrible gun town where the only thing anyone does is make sure the guns keep firing and make sure the blood flows.
Right. What was the name of that one?
It's called Cannon Fodder.
Okay, cool. So that one, obviously a little grim, a little too on the nose. The other thing we watched, which I also enjoyed, was Odd Taxi, which is sort of like a tense,
noirish
story about a hippo who is a taxi driver. Everyone's animals, but it's not funny.
Yeah, no one talks about it.
It's the Zootopia anime.
Yeah.
But it was also very good. But I know this again is a crazy thing to say because like giraffes are talking, but like kind of grounded. Like I mean, like the sort of appeal here is that like everything seemed real. Like these are real animals that are also people, I guess. It just felt realistic, as dumb as that sounds.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, I need some bullshit.
Hell yeah. I'm ready to fucking supply it because I got the Type Moon wiki open as we speak. Joe, do you have a book on hand to create a random search term?
Yeah, let me check my closet. I have with me a hard copy of A Portrait of the Writer, Literary Lives in Focus. This is actually a really cool book because it shows like some of the writing habits that people had, and some of them are just like nuts. Like he had to stand on a table and fold his penis back and forth, and that was like how he did it. Like that's how the ideas came to him, and that's what life's all about.
He playing with E-Worm. How many pages are in this book?
502.
502? I'm going to generate a random number between 1 and 502. Joe, it is 342, page 342.
Sure. Oh, no fucking way.
Can you please tell me the fifth word on the page, excluding filler words like the and the fifth real word?
Sure. I'd be happy to tell you that word, but like every 2 pages is a writer. Don't you want to know who it is?
Sure.
It's our girl Joyce Carol Oates.
Oh my god, the foot freak!
Yeah, she's really bad at Twitter. She's so bad.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
Didn't she post a picture of her keyboard that was like disgusting?
I don't know, maybe. We talked about in the 2-minute episode that you like have to remember the specifics about these freaks because the world will want you to forget. Joyce Carol Oates, I think, is an exception because it's like overload. You just write her off as a posting freak. The specifics don't matter.
It's incredible. The gap between like her, how I feel about her work, and then like what I see online is amazing.
Anyway, what's the word?
It's deceived, Tom.
Oh my god, deceived. I've searched that into Type Moon Wiki, and the first result is Mordred.
As in from Arthurian legend?
You would think so. Let's confirm. Mordred, also known as Saber of Red, is the Saber-class servant of Kairi Sisigu of the Red faction in the Great Holy Grail War of Fate Apocrypha.
Does this just look like a Saber palette swap?
So here's Joe. Oh, fuck.
Let me.
This worked out so well. No. Don't look. I want you to find out via this way. So, I looked at the image because I want to know what's the deal with Mordred. Is it a gender swap? Is it just look like fucking Saber? Does it look like King Arthur as a hot babe? I was, to my shock, met with someone in full plate armor. Now, this is anime plate armor. It's like white with like red detail, and it has like a big spooky helmet with horns.
Are the boobs cut out though?
No. There's no sexualization whatsoever. There's big spiky, scary gauntlets with like fucking looks like Sonic the Hedgehog on this shit. Big spikes is scary.
It's like the opposite of boobs.
Yeah, and no indication really of the body shape underneath. It's just a big bulky suit of armor with a huge sword. Looks like a big scary sword fighting guy. And then I noticed that above the picture, there's a little highlighted section that says armor, and then next to that is an unhighlighted section that said armorless.
What?
And I want to click that. Buddy, it's Saber. It's just a titty bitch.
This is
she's
when you
wearing
beat Metroid fast enough and you see her in her swimsuit.
Yeah, she's wearing like you know how sometimes they wear a ribbon across the titties, so like they come underneath the ribbon because it's just a ribbon across the nipples. That's what that is. That's what she got on. Oh, she also has. This is incredible. She wears like a skirt belt, by which I mean it's like a belt around the waist that has little like parts of a skirt that come out, but the parts don't cover the ass and front. And she has like leggings that you might think are pants, but they stop at like the crotch area. So, though she may, to the untrained eye, at a glance, be wearing a skirt and pants, she actually has her whole ass and pussy area totally nude, but for a loincloth. Yeah. This is normal clothing for anime. Mm-hmm.
What is her phantasm power? What is the term they call when you unleash?
It's called your noble phantasm.
Sorry.
Joe, I have a lot of shit to read through before I get to that. The Knight of Treachery and the son of King Arthur, but she's actually female, despite being raised as the secret male heir. She became known as a, quotes, rare villain, who managed to tarnish a glorious legend at the end of her life. She was conceived between Artoria and her sister, Morgan Le Fay, through unorthodox circumstances. Yeah, I can fucking imagine.
That is such an undersell.
Artoria, normally female, was a pseudo-male at the time due to Merlin's magecraft in order to consummate her marriage with Guinevere. During this time, Morgan enchanted Artoria with a spell to extract sperm from her. Morgan developed it within her own ovary and made the child into a homunculus clone of Artoria.
There's a spell that milks you. Did you hear that? That's fucked up.
Okay. Am I crazy that you extract sperm and grow a fucking fetus in your own ovary? That's not where it happens. This show, I'll say it. I think the Fate Wiki doesn't really know how the female body works. Yeah, like don't make a baby, make a homunculus. You need sperm and an egg to make A homunculus. Anyway, due to homunculus, she was given a much faster growth period than a regular human being, and her lifespan is far shorter. She was raised in secret. She will inherit the throne. She felt ashamed of her twisted birth, unconsciously acting jealous of normal people, and with special innocence that children possess. She worshipped the perfect. You know the special innocence that children possess? Let's just drop that in unexplained. Oh my god.
What's her power?
She was given a sword despite her unknown origins because of her abilities and straightforward mental chivalry. She protected the knights, much like that which could only be found in picture books.
That makes it sound like they weren't real, though. Like she didn't actually accomplish anything.
Oh my god, Joe, like, I cannot emphasize enough how many fucking paragraphs I'm just scrolling by very fast in order to get to the Noble Phantasm. I'm going past the strike on the Yggdra Millennia Castle. I'm going past the alliance with the Black Faction. I'm scrolling past Fourth Singularity: London. I think she reports to Dr. Jekyll about the mass production of Helter Skelters.
You said no to this, but I joked before. I was like, do you understand how fun it would be to write like a wiki for an anime series like this that doesn't exist? Do you like all those things you said? Like, what was it, like Fourth Apocalypse: London? Like,
Lost Belt number 3: Sin in all capitals. I imagine sin is probably a fucking like acronym.
Do you hear those words and not imagine a beautiful canvas in front of you?
I do, except Joe, I don't know what I don't know what happened to your brain that made you not be able to see the work that would be involved with a project idea, because you drop these things in my lap like, wouldn't it be fun? I'm like, it would be fun. It would also be 1,000 hours of work. I struggle to get 1 hour of work.
I suggested a deck builder. We could make one of those, maybe release it on itch, know.
No thanks. Fuck, what is it? Mordred definitely bests Han Xin and Li Shuwen and takes the border to the Fusang tree.
Dude, that's not what I heard.
Abilities! Holy shit. Being a Knight of the Round Table, Mordred is one of the greatest knights to ever live, and a hero sung of in legends. I thought she was a villain. When summoned as a servant, she boasts indisputable fame and strength. She possesses power worthy of the Saber class. Well, yeah, I would imagine, because she's in the Saber class. Otherwise, she wasn't worthy. She wouldn't. Fuck. Aside from luck, all of her parameters rank above C, truly fitting for her class. Truly fitting for her class, a completely unnecessary editorializing sentence that really, I think, sums up the sort of authorial voice of the Fate Wiki.
All her parameters
are above C. Truly fitting for her class. When comparing them to her father's, the Knight of Knights, Mordred's specs are overall lower. The difference between the two is such that Gawain claims that he'd normally defeat Mordred without breaking a sweat, even at night, when he's 3 times weaker than during midday state, in which he's considered to be an equal to King Arthur by some.
It's just red saber, though?
Yeah, it's just a red saber. Oh, okay. Mordred's fighting style is focused on obeying her instincts, which is a hyperlink, and optimizing her fighting habits with the greatest efficiency. So what I'm reading is her fighting style is to do it good.
Efficiently.
During battle, Mordred shows a truly superior competence, and due to her doctrine to make things right, she would peruse...
Holy shit. Nothing is being said.
She would peruse deliberately of even unfair tactics. She does not move with the elegance of a knight, but instead fights with abandon, like a berserker or a wild beast. She uses her two-handed sword with a single hand. And Jesus Christ. And rather than simply doing so as to punch an opponent, she will even go so far as going to throw her sword should it grant her victory over opponent. Oh my god. Fuck. Where is her noble fucking phantasm?
I thought everyone had one.
Oh my... Okay. Finally. Joe, you would not believe how far down on the scroll bar the little nubbin is. Noble Phantasm. Her sword Clarent, which sounds like you said Clarence wrong, was originally a B-rank sword bestowed upon the succession of kingship, used to amplify the king's authority, the king's royal aura. It raises the owner's physical stats by 1 rank and grants the skill Charisma. That's a hyperlink. Mordred was never acknowledged as king, though, so the sword itself is lowered by 1 rank, and she cannot acquire any bonuses while wielding it. So why are we fucking talking about it? Why bring it up? However, she can still use its amplification ability to launch Clarent Blood Arthur by using her mana burst skill to force her excessive hatred for her father into the sword in the form of magical energy, allowing her to cut down most servants in a single slash. This noble phantasm is strong enough to surpass Tesla's own lightning.
Those are like exactly the words I needed to hear. That's what I wanted. I needed that bullshit.
When clashing with Siegfried's Balmung, Clarent Blood Arthur was slightly superior. What decided the battle between them was not their skill, their power, nor the difference in power between their noble phantasms. Well, what was it?
Charisma. No.
Oh, fuck. In the Camelot Singularity, Mordred received the gift, that's a hyperlink, of Rampage from the Lion King. What? I don't... Okay, Lion King is also a fucking hyperlink, but I imagine it's gonna not be Simba. I don't want to live in a world where I know that it's not the Lion King. In exchange for burning out her soul, she can unleash her noble phantasm without limit, to the point that fighting 3 servants at once isn't even considered a game to her. Why would it be considered a game in any... Whatever.
I really like... I think you captured what makes this so funny. The voice here is... It is presenting as much information as it can factually, but then it editorializes to show you how cool shit is. But when it does that, it sounds its dumbest.
Yeah. No, what it should do, it should be like if the Dragon Ball wiki is like, Vegeta's signature attack is the Final Flash, which kicks ass. Anyone looking at the Final Flash will go, ho, because it owns. Its power level is whatever. Like, that's how it should be. Joe, and here's something that's going to blow your fucking mind. Is that this wiki page is longer than like most short stories, probably novella length. And there were so many paragraphs about the noble phantasm Clarent and Clarent Blood Arthur, which also, by the way, has its own wiki page, which I imagine is of a similar length. But there is a fucking 3-sentence paragraph, so short, that is the only fucking text on this entire page, which is dedicated to her second noble phantasm. Did you know she had fucking 2?
No, it sounds not important, though.
Yeah, here it is. Mordred's final noble phantasm is her helmet Secret of Pedigree. That's a hyperlink. With it, Mordred's personal skills, that's capitalized, and noble phantasms tiedly related to her true name, that's a hyperlink, are concealed within her status information. I just want to mention that the word tiedly was in that sentence. Anyway, however, when unleashing Clarent's whole power, the helmet must be removed. So that really says it all. I think that's clear.
When she takes her helmet off, she can't utilize that power. I don't understand.
Her personal skills and noble phantasms tiedly related to her true name are concealed within her status information.
I think that's supposed to mean that other servants and wizards can't sense her Hatsu, but I think it's rated in like a very strange way.
Oh my god. Okay, so I just clicked on Secret of Pedigree, which is a hyperlink, and I'm seeing here Helm of Hidden Infidelity. It's the helmet of Mordred given to her by Morgan, along with the words "you must not remove," told to wear it at all times in order to keep her identity and lineage a secret, manifesting from the fact that it was never once removed in public until her final fight with King Arthur. It hides certain sections of her parameters, even from her own master, making it hard to discern even her gender when coupled with her full body armor. Her basic
it's a cloak. She's got a cloak.
Okay. She's got a big helmet on. Okay, yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. The name sucks. What was the power called?
I don't fucking remember. I closed the tab because I'm tired. Joe, I'm exhausted from reading this shit.
I am too, but I don't know. They said parameters a lot. I really like that.
They did. I love how, because a lot of the Fate lore now. Like a huge percentage of it comes from fucking like Grand Order, which is just a game. It's just a mobile game where you have to have units. So most of the characters are just fucking units from Grand Order. How like the characters who are from like the anime and like the original fucking visual novel have wikis that, for as shittily as they're written, they're like talking about the story and like what they do.
Right.
And but so many of them are just like, Mordred has an A in strength, which is real strong. Tessa only got a B in strength.
Yeah, there's also servants that are a bit of a reach.
Yeah.
Like, this is Confucius's maid.
She got her titties humongous.
Yeah. Great
Goddamn.
parameters, unfortunately.
Yeah, Oliver Cromwell takes double damage from fire elemental spells. He's immune to paralysis, but he takes double damage from the poison status effect. Jesus Christ. This is the most profitable fucking intellectual property venture of all time. Probably
because
not, but it's probably close.
You're selling JPEGs. And not in an NFT. Oh, shit. There's a convergence here. I now see the path in front of us. All right, we don't need to unpack this further, but we just need everyone to understand that, like, I just had a dead zone vision. About NFTs converging with the gotchas. I didn't get a good look at it in my mind's eye. It was so awful. I was just writhing tentacles in pain, but like I don't feel well.
Joe, we gotta end this episode both because you're about to die and also because the Vatican has once again sent agents to kill us for getting too close. So that's been everything for Anime Sickos, or should I say Anime Anbernicos. You should buy an Anbernic RG351V. It kicks ass. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Yeah, do crimes. Bye.
Thank you for listening to Anime Sickos. I've been Tom, a sicko. You can follow me on Twitter at TomHarrison19. Joe is also a sicko. You can follow him on Twitter at Sharia Uncle. You can follow Anime Sickos on Twitter at Anime Sickos, or email us at animesickos@gmail.com. Please leave us a review or something. I don't know. Tell a friend. Anyway, until next time, bye.